Hey guys, and welcome to episode 7 of the FitPro Lead Gen Show with me, David Kyle. In today's episode, we're going to try something different. Instead of talking about generating leads and how to sell these leads, I'm actually going to jump on a call with one of our Facebook ads management clients who's just about to open his second venue. In the call, we're going to find out what you need to do to first find your venue, how he's going to set it up, what equipment he's going to do, and how he's going to start generating leads for his new business in an area where he has no reputation, nobody knows him, and he's all fresh and brand new. So before we get into today's episode, or actually the chat or the conversation that we do have, let me tell you a little bit more about how we managed to get this venue, the gym that we're in right now. So I used to work out of a gym down in Southampton, and everything was going well. We even had 2 staff or 2 trainers working for us. We had about 50 clients in total. The thing was though, we just couldn't find our own venue. We'd been to estate agents, we'd searched online, and we just couldn't find anything. And then one day we were looking on the UKPT's Facebook group, and somebody was giving away this unit. They just couldn't seem to make it work, and all they wanted to do was us to take over their lease. I drove straight up to Cardiff that next day, had a chat with her, got the contract signed, and moved up. Again, starting in the same situation as what Steve is in, we moved up to Cardiff with no reputation, with no clients, with no awareness, nobody knew anything about us, and we literally went for it. We managed to get a bank loan to help pay for most of the stuff, so we got like the new building or kind of the office and showers built. We got it all kitted out because this just was a big warehouse unit, and we managed to make it work. Obviously, with my Facebook ads expertise, we were able to grow to 100 clients in just 4 months. So we managed to grow DKnine Fitness relatively quickly to start off. But that is just one way of doing it, okay? Searching for venues on places like UKPTs or in Facebook groups. That is just one way of trying to find a venue. And then kitting it out again. Steve's going to tell you about what he did, where he had a massive client base to start off to get his first gym. But again, for us, we had to have a target or some sort of strategy in place to do that. And obviously DKnine Fitness is an over 30s gym, so we had the perfect audience to really go for with these ads. And finally, if you're wondering why I'm wearing this Christmas jumper, it's because it's 20th of December, I'm recording this, and today is actually Christmas jumper day here at DKnine Fitness. Anyway, that's enough of me talking, telling you a little bit more about DKnine Fitness. Let's jump straight into the call with Steve, where Steve tells us all about his current setup now, how he found his new place, and how he's going to help fill that and get that flying in just about 4 months. Okay, so I'm joined by Steve. Steve is a Facebook ads client, but as well as that, I thought I'd get him on the show because he's simply opening up his second gym. Now, Steve's already got a gym in Basingstoke, but he's moving to Newbury, which a place where he has no clients, he's got no reputation. He's basically starting from scratch. So I thought it would be a great idea to bring him on. He can tell us a little bit more about how he first found this unit, how he's going to plan to grow it, and to give you advice on basically setting up your own studio. So welcome, Steve.
Thanks, David. Good to be here, mate.
Can you just tell us then a little bit more about how you go about finding the venue, first of all, because that's probably the biggest struggles most people have.
Yeah, it is a struggle. It's really hard to find a good venue that you can change to D2 usage, which you need. Leisure purpose. The first venue in Basingstoke, we looked for 2 years. We kept getting refused on multiple different facilities. We didn't get planning permission. In the end, I took over somewhere that used to be a ladies' curves gym. So that was just a stroke of luck, but it's persistent for 2 years. Persistent, just keep trying to keep looking. And now, since Basingstoke's doing fine, we've been looking around towns. We're about 45 minutes drive away. So we're looking at Guildford, Southampton, Winchester, Reading, Camberley, and Newbury. And we found one in the end, but it has taken about 2 years where the landlord's been willing to go for planning to get it changed from, I think it was a vets, over to D2 leisure. It's really hard to get leisure usage because if as a gym, you need hundreds of car parks. So, and most obviously industrial units, and that only come with about 10 car parks. So it's basically creating relationships with the estate agents and just keep keep messaging them, keep phoning them, keep going around and looking.
So you weren't jumping on Rightmove or Zoopla and all that. You've basically gone to an estate agent, give them kind of details and said, guys, can you help me try and find this type of venue?
The best way to do that is to try and create relationships. But we was on Zoopla as well. We was looking everywhere, just non-stop.
Yeah. And then once you found the unit, you just approached the landlord. How did you go about getting this ball rolling with them?
Well, this one, they've come up with a heads of terms. So you've got to be careful. We're going for a 10-year lease. You don't want to end up with no lease, or some people have gone into them storage units so they can get chucked out in a month.
Yeah.
If you're going to be investing 10, 20, 30,000 pounds into advertising and equipment and staff, you want to be making sure that the landlord can't chuck you out. So you want to look at your long-term lease, maybe with a break clause only for the tenant, not for the landlord. So if you do fail, then you can get out a bit early, or if you fancy moving on because you'll outgrow it. But you look at your heads of terms and you want to get a solicitor or somebody who's on your side to really make sure that everything's tight, so that you don't get. I've seen lots of people with a thriving gym business get told they've got 1 month or 2 months or maybe 6 months to get out. And if you spent the last 5 years growing up to 200, 300, 400 members, and then you get told to get out, if it takes 2 years to find a venue, that's it's going to be a nightmare. So do make sure that you get your heads terms and then your lease, and get a solicitor to look at that. Definitely.
So you've got the gym, you've got your heads of terms, everything's been approved. How much do you reckon it's cost you so far to kind of, from finding to getting the confirmation, you can move in? How much do you reckon that would cost most people roughly?
Getting started, we've got a budget of what we want to do. Is that what you want? So we've got a budget of £30,000 to kit out most of the boot camp stuff, but not the gym stuff. So we'll start off with the boot camp area with, kettlebell stuff, which is cheaper, some prowlers, a couple of bars, squat racks, wall balls, boxing gloves. Flooring actually is working out to be the most expensive thing so far. And then you've got advertising. We look at spending the same on advertising that we do per month in Basingstoke. So we're looking at £1,000 per month on advertising. And then we've got a budget. We've got a 6-month cash flow forecast. How much money we're going to spend on advertising, how much money we've got to spend on rent, VAT, business rates, service charge, and then how many members we're going to bring in to start replenishing that cash. So that £30,000 starts off minus 30, and then if we get 70 members in the first 2 months, because it's going to be January, February, then we can start replenishing that 30 grand. We should break even by September if all goes to plan. We might even beat that, but that's how I would like guesstimate.
Yeah, so that is actually a good number. That's about roughly what we cost when we set this place up. But I like how you said you're going to start by not massively kitting it out. You're going to keep it basic. So maybe open up a boot camp so you can get a lot of numbers, not so high a price. And then that really gives you a massive client base to begin.
Yeah, I mean, when I started out doing it myself in a church, we didn't have hardly any equipment. But we got up to 190 members with kettlebells, boxing gloves, skipping ropes, and a tyre and a hammer.
Yeah.
Then we've got the venue, and you start thinking in your head, what would be the best as a trainer, which everybody probably who's going to open up starts off as a trainer. They start thinking, what would be the best session? And then I was like, I want 3 prowlers, 3 ski ergs, 3 rowers, 3 assault bikes, 24 bars, 2.5 tons of weights, a big 4 rig that they put in the middle of the room that takes up all the space. But then the members, that's only for you in your head, thinking that it's going to be great. It's not as a business thinking what's going to make your revenue stay and your profit go up. If you're just spending all your money, then you're not making any profit. And then you suddenly get, now you're VAT registered and you haven't got any money for that.
Yeah.
So you've got to think about that, provisions, but also slowly bringing in more equipment. The members like to see that every couple of months you're bringing in something new, and it just keeps them motivated. Again, something in January, like this year we brought in My Zone in January. Members love that.
Okay, yeah. Something we definitely do in the gym is we try and make sure it's a multifunctional bit of equipment. So as good as rowers were, they were just big and they could only do one type of thing. So we went for more of the assault bikes. It was a bit less space. Everything we tried to get is a multifunctional, so we can use it for more than one type of thing. So then it doesn't take up so much space. I'm guessing it's kind of the same for you.
Yeah, definitely. With the basic one, it's only 2,500 square foot. So having a large group of 26, 20 to 30 people. We've really stripped it all out and just gone back to the walls. You don't want to be taking up lots of room. We started getting things like leg presses in and stuff like that, and they just take up so much space. Leg extension and leg hamstring curl machine takes up so much space for a one joint exercise machine, you know.
Yeah.
But the best one, I mean, boxing, you can just get so many people in because you're not swinging hammers around or bars or any machines. So
Yeah.
if you think about space, and do you think, if you know, we were thinking, what if kit doesn't get delivered in time? Well, I said it's fine, because you can do boot camp classes. You can do classes at the beginning. You can do them without. You can do body weight classes.
Yeah.
You could probably do that for a month, because you're training brand new people how to get fit, and they're learning a basic exercise like press ups, burpees, squats, and lunges, and sit ups, or whatever you want to do. You don't even need hardly any equipment.
So yeah, so if you want to open on a budget, you obviously don't need to go and spend so much. No.
Flooring you probably need, but I mean, the first time I did it was the ideal way if you're at that level, because I built it up in a church, which I could just pay £15 an hour for. There was no overheads, there was no lease, no rent. I didn't have to pay it if I wasn't going to use it.
Yeah.
And then I had 190 members that were doing it for 3 years, and they wanted to stay. So I knew if I moved into this venue, I'd already start with nearly 200 members. So that was, and they covered the rent and everything like that. That's the best way. But then we spent the last 4 years getting that right and grow it. We've grown to 490 members. So we know that we've got it right, and we can do that again, and we can replicate that in Newbury. If I didn't have one already, I probably wouldn't go and buy a venue straight out. I'd probably do it again in the building, like
Definitely.
a village hall or something like that.
Okay. So tell me some of the things that you didn't expect, things that just popped up and you were like, God, I didn't even think about that, or things that just completely shocked you about going from paying £15 an hour to a church hall to actually having your own physical venue. What are the things that that surprised you didn't expect?
That you don't charge enough, I think, at the beginning, because you think, and you probably pay too much because you're a trainer. So you're going to think that trainers should be on so much money because trainers are great. So you pay too much, and then you don't charge enough because you don't value yourself because you only just started. And then you get into this place with a 10-year lease, 250, 2 million over 10 years, 2 million. Then you realise then you've got to pay VAT. So then you go, oh, right, I've got to put the price up. But if you've got members already, you can't start putting your price up from existing members. So it's hard about putting your prices up or starting too low. It's great when you're on your own and there's no overheads and there's no equipment and there's no staff and there's no rent, service charge, insurance. What else? You know, it's just business rates. Hopefully they're going down from the Conservatives now. But it's the expenses that you go from being a sole trader on your own, earning less, taking in less than 80 odd grand. As soon as you go into a venue and you've got that many people paying you, and it comes to 83 grand, now you've got to pay 20% back. That is a shock. And then becoming a manager of people, I just gave everybody, most of my original staff were ex-members, and you have a really good friendly relationship. And then it's really hard to be a boss to a really good friend because they'll just get away with whatever they want.
So managing the staff.
If you lend your mate a £5 down the pub, you're not going to be sending the bailiffs around to get them back. So it's like when you've got a mate working for you, they can get away with stuff, and then in the end, that could cost you money because you're the person risking 10 years of lease. So
definitely
you should be getting. And also, they think, oh, you're just you who used to be in the church. And now you think you're this big man earning all the money, but in the end of the day, you are the person that's taken on that risk. So you do deserve it. Yeah.
So let's just move into staff really quickly. So like you said, it was you in the church hall with almost 200 members. You moved into this venue. And when I came the other day, I'm sure you had 2 ladies working, and then you got you and your wife who work in the gym sometimes as well.
We've got 9 trainers.
How do you manage all those people? What tips do you have? This is probably another show that we could go into, but just really quickly, how would you go about?
One thing I do believe is 15 hours of sessions is the maximum for one person, not for per week, not per day, per week, and because it becomes I like to be in the class they're entertaining. And if you're doing it all the time, every day with the same people and the same trainer, it becomes a bit boring, a bit stale. So if you can have a variety. So what we try to do is give people admin work, sales work, customer relationship work, follow-up coaching calls, texts to see how they're getting on and stuff like that. So they've got work to do as admin, and they're not just doing training. So my first trainer used to do, well, my first really employed trainer used to do 37 hours a week, and most of that was just boot camp, and it just became too much for everyone, including members. So my sort of like guide is 15 hours. So you can either give someone a part-time job, or if they want a full-time job, you need to give them 15 hours of boot camps or classes, and then X amount of hours of admin, so that they're not just doing the same sessions, because some members might not like that trainer. So you need a variety of trainers.
Okay, perfect. So to finish this then, the FitPro lead gen is all about generating leads. And obviously we do your ads for your fitness business, but kind of tell the people who are watching or listening what our plan is, or what your plan is moving forwards now with this new venue, because you are starting a Facebook page from scratch. You have no clients in this area. You have no awareness, nothing. What are the plans now to make sure we hit the ground running when you finally open these doors?
Well, we started the Facebook page. We started just putting the content in there, content. We've already got testimonials, before and after photos and stuff like that. So we put them in there and into the Facebook page, content every day, 3 times a day. And we've got professionally made videos from Basingstoke, which we'll translate over to them as well. And then we start the advertising. We'll go with a lead magnet or 2. So we've got meal plans or recipe books. I've even got a home workout video that I did 4 years ago, just people to get their email, to get people's email addresses, give them something for free. And then we will do an open day, and then we will try to get people down for an open day and group consultations to sign them up for an 8-week body transformation at the beginning. The goal is eventually to get them to long-term contracts, but to get started, we'll start with an intro offer of 8-week boot camps. If we can't get out to work, we might come and do something for a discount. We're not one of the companies that do free and take a deposit and get the money back. We don't do that. So we will try to sell them a package. We say anything that's this good shouldn't be free. Yeah, that's the one. I think that's all that was on yours. But try to sell them in there, but with lots of free lead magnets. Grabbing the email addresses and the phone numbers, and then following up. And we'll do open days. Else? We do referrals. As soon as people join, we ask them if they want to get their friend to join, and we give them 50% off, or 1 month off, so they can get people to get referrals. Is the best way. And we just we want to grow. January should be okay to get 50 to 70 members. And then we will try to grow 10 to 20 members each month.
Perfect.
And we keep going like that with 8-week body transformations or 12-week body transformations.
Amazing. So just to finish off then, is there anything else you want to add to this to let people know about getting started with a venue, or what they should expect, and just any small hints or tips just to kind of finish this off?
Yeah, you want to get help from people like yourself. And I've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on mentors and help, and it's hard to find the right ones. So definitely, as I'm experienced and been through everybody, I would recommend you. I recommend that you get support from somebody who's done it before, a mentor, if you can, and do invest money in that, because it can be hard and you could end up going the wrong way. But if you get the right help from the right people, but one thing to look out for, if somebody's calling themselves the $1 million coach or something like that, then that's a red flag for me. I don't like the Americans where they're just hassling you, messaging you, trying to get you to show how they're doing it. Look at somebody that's got a gym, and then they can do it themselves as well. But definitely get some help.
So definitely, I think Steve's done this for 1 or 2 people before. If you are watching this or you're listening to this and you are thinking about opening a venue, or you're wondering how Steve's managed to get his business so successful, definitely drop him a message. I'm sure he'd be up for helping a few people kind of get started with their things as well. We're actually looking to invest in other companies as well. Like, I spent 2 years trying to buy somewhere that was like dwindling away, but it didn't come through. So that's why we started again from scratch. If somebody wants to sell a business that's half decent, then maybe they move in Australia or something like that, then give us a shout. Definitely. Cheers, Steve. Thanks.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, Dave. Bye.
So a conversation that was with Steve, okay, and it's kind of probably the longest interview that we've done so far. And as you can see from the way he was telling it, okay, it took him ages to get that first venue on the side. And then right at the end, again, he was trying to set up something new with somebody else. And again, that fell through. So it really isn't as easy as people make it out to find a venue. All I can say is just keep searching. When you do find that one, make the inquiries, see if it is available, see if you can get the change of use to make it be a D2. And if they're all going well, make sure you have a plan in place, how you're first going to fill the venue, how you're going to kit it out, and not just jump in with your eyes closed and just hope for the best, okay? So make sure you have a plan when you find that venue. Anyway, this is going to be the last episode before Christmas, and like we said, we've got the Christmas jumper on. Have a really good Christmas, and I'll see you all next week, which will be, is it the 27th, I think, of December, where we can talk about all the Christmas stuff, and we can jump into a new episode. I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.